That sounds good. Hello, and welcome to the very first devlog. My name is Jeremy, and this devlog is going to be a little bit different than other ones. I'm kind of making this more for the friends that I collaborate with in the creation of these two games. So I'm making two games, Dexter Stardust Season 1 and Dexter Stardust Season 2. Dexter Stardust Season 1 is a point-and-click adventure, and it's mostly done. All the artwork, the game, the logic, the music, the sounds, whatever, is all done. The only thing that we have left to do are the voiceovers, promotion, a little bit of debugging here, and then launching it on the different systems. Dexter Stardust Season 2, however, is quite different. Not only has the art style changed from traditional hand-drawn art to pixel art, but the style of gameplay has changed. In the first one, like I said, it's a point-and-click adventure. The second one is a platformer, more in the vein of a Mario-like game. And the story actually complements the gameplay in both seasons. I say seasons, but they're basically just two different games. Season 1 has different episodes that's all contained in that one game, and then Season 2 is the same thing. Different episodes contained in one game. And the reason I cut them into episodes is just to make it feel a little bit more episodic, more like an adventure, more like you're playing the season of a TV show. I think it gives it a good feel. It also kind of breaks up the gameplay and bookends different chapters. But like I said, this devlog is going to be very different from other devlogs you may have seen. While anyone can watch it, it's more a way for me to communicate to the rest of my team what I'm doing on a week-by-week basis. That includes Munk Alejandro, Alec Corday, and Lola Mendez. So us four were basically the main Dexter team. We were the ones who basically came up and created all of the characters involved. And while I do most of the work on the games and the production, it is very much a team effort, and Dexter Stardust could not exist without their input, their creative input, and then also their collaboration when it comes to doing voiceovers and things like that. So let's get to it. What did I do this week? Let me show you. Now, because we want to launch not only on Mac and PC, but also on iOS, my goal this last week was to make sure to figure out how to build a successful iOS build. And this was the first time. So that took a lot of effort on my part, and I kept getting back this error when I was sending the builds and submitting them to Apple. And you could see the error here on the screen. I had no idea what this meant. It took me many hours just to figure out what it was, but after a very long time, I figured out that when I created the builds from Unity, they included some packages that had some outdated API, basically some outdated code in them that was basically trying to communicate with the internet, and our game doesn't do that. There's no in-app purchases, there's no ads, so I basically just removed those packages, created a new build, did everything the way I had done so in the past, and it worked brilliantly. One of the things that was preventing Dexter Stardust from working on iOS was basically just the size of the files. So while the files like the sprites were compressed for Mac and PC, they weren't compressed for iOS, and I didn't even realize that. So I had to go through every single sprite, which there are thousands of in the entire game, and compress them in the proper format so that they don't overly distort and so that they are a reduced file size. So now Dexter Stardust can work on iOS. Previously, before I had done the compression, it didn't even work at all. Now we've been able to test the game, test it on iOS. Most things work as they should. I do have a couple kinks to work out in the UI so that all of the UI responds properly to the touch. But other than that, everything is working really great with episode 0. Now, because I was so busy making sure that Dexter Stardust would work on iOS this last week, I didn't have as much time to work on Season 2 or Dexter 2. But I did get some things done. I got some different animations done. I wanted to make some more destructibles. Basically like a destructible box, a destructible block, or a destructible crate. Something that you could interact with and maybe could even drop something, like drop a power-up or something like that. And you can see me working on one of the animations here, making these animations feel very responsive and making them feel like they snap the right way when you interact with them is really crucial, and I think that that really comes through in the final product. But not only did I work on making sure that those animations worked, but I also wanted to make sure that there was audio that accompanies them. So I always look for free audio on freesound.org, and that I make the sound effects that way. And we can hear what that final sound effect with the animation looks and sounds like. That sounds good. And there was something that I discovered this week. I had manipulated some of the code in the engine that I'm using that when you pick up 100 collectibles, you get an extra life. But what I found is that if you picked up, say, 95 collectibles or 95 nacho chips, which are like our coins, right? If you picked up 95 of them and then you picked up one that had 10, it wouldn't go back down to 0 once it hit 100. It would just go to 105. And the reason is that I didn't have anything in the code that said if you're over or if you're greater than 100, it should go back down to 0. It was if you're at 100, then it'll go back down to 0. But if you go over 100, then it wouldn't go back to 0. It would just keep counting. So I had to go in and fix that code. But now when you collect any number of nacho chips that is 100 or over 100, no matter the quantity, it will always go back down by 100. I'm still not really great at coding, but I'm doing what I can. I also finished the layout of the very first level in Season 2, placing all the different collectibles and things like that, but there's still some things that I need to work on, like dialogue systems and NPCs that will be placed here that you'll be able to interact with, but the overall layout is the way it is right now. So now that we have that level laid out, we also created those different breakable animations and their corresponding audio components. Let's take a look at what this very first level plays like. All right, so that sounds really good. Collect 10. Love how that ledge grab feels. I also like the sound associated with it. Those crates are sounding good. Nothing's in them right now. I don't know if I'll put anything in them. It's just a way to show that you can use your weapon there. And you can see Dexter has his thrusters. All right. Ground pound. There we go. Destroy that block. Crouch under that. So you can see this is very much like a tutorial level in which you are learning the mechanics of the game without any real repercussions. There won't be any enemies in this first level. This is a little secret up here. There you go. Gotta duck under there. If you fall down, you won't die. I think I show that. So you can go up here. Oh, maybe I don't show that. But if you fall all the way down to the bottom there, you won't die. There's ground down there. So there's no fear of actually dying in this first stage. So that's everything that I accomplished this week with both Dexter Stardust Season 1 and Dexter Stardust Season 2. Next week, I think I want to work on some of my own voiceovers for the characters that I'm playing in Dexter Stardust Season 1. And then for Dexter Stardust Season 2, I think I want to work on some of the different enemy animations. I already have one enemy created, but I want to create different variations of that same enemy. And then I also want to work on the dialogue boxes, what those will look like. There's a lot less dialogue in Dexter Stardust Season 2. I don't think that dialogue will be spoken, but it will be displayed, and I need to work on what that looks like in the game. So hopefully I can put out a devlog on a weekly basis so I can just keep everyone up to date. So thank you for watching. If you're not part of the Dexter team, but you'd love to continue watching these devlogs, please click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you all on the next one.